Hey guys, Pedro here to do an album review. And today I'm doing The Chapter, that's the name of the band, and the name of the album is Angels and Demons. This band is a Portuguese band. They put out this album late in 2017, I believe October, November of 2017. And normally I don't do album reviews for albums that have been out for several months. But once I listened to this album and I really enjoyed the album and I learned a little bit more about the band, I felt compelled to do an album review because I really wanted to share their music and this album with everybody, so that perhaps they can gain a few new listeners and perhaps they can get a little bit of exposure, which they totally deserve. This is a band that put out this album totally out of their own pocket. Like, this album is completely independent. There's no label associated with it. The band put the money together to release this album, so I feel like I owe them something and I really want to help these guys out. And the only way I can do that is by doing an album review and perhaps creating some exposure for their music. It's well deserved. Trust me, after listening to this album, I really felt that I needed to do something, and I really wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on this record. So let's get into it. Angels and Demons. 8 tracks, 48 minutes. I like the amount of tracks. 8 tracks is perfectly fine for the style of music that they have and for the style of lyrics. And for the genre, I think 8 tracks, 48 minutes is perfect, because some of the songs are a little bit longer, and I feel that if the album had too many songs and it got too long in duration, probably it could become repetitive. So the fact that they kept it at 8 tracks to me was perfectly it's the perfect number as far as I'm concerned for an album. And 48 minutes, I like that. I like anything between 38 to 50 minutes is where I like to be. So for this album, I was happy with the 48 minutes. It made for an easy listening experience. This album, right off the bat, the first song that I heard, it kind of caught me off guard because I didn't know what to expect going in. But the first song kind of gave me different looks at what this album was going to offer me down the road. This is pretty much of a death metal / doom gothic metal album. The band really combines these 3 genres. Even a little bit of black metal, I would say, is combined into here. Listening to this album, I really got a vibe of Moonspell. If you guys are familiar with their debut album, Worlfheart, this record really reminded me of early Moonspell and really reminded me of Worlfheart, because in that album also there is a little bit of doom, of death, black metal, all associated into one, really blended all into one. And I found that with this album was very similar from that perspective. This album really blended these 4 genres, not only throughout the album, but also even within certain songs. Certain songs give you a little bit of death metal, a little bit of black metal, a little bit of doom. So I really like the way they approached this album. Like I said, it really reminded me of early Moonspell, and that's a great thing, because I haven't heard a lot of bands coming out that are able to really combine different genres within one album, but not only within one album, even within a single song. And these guys do it really well. They do it really in a melodic way. They do it with really cool lyrics, really cool guitar riffs, and I really like the range and the vocals, from the clean vocals to the harsh vocals. I really like the range that they give you within certain songs. I really find that they really used the harsh vocals and the clean vocals to emphasize the lyrics and the message of that song. So some songs, for example, are predominantly harsh vocals with clean vocals just sporadically coming in at certain spots to either make the song more somber or to give a little bit more of harmony to the song, and I like that. But then on some other songs you have the complete opposite. Some other songs are completely clean vocals with just harsh vocals sprinkled in to give you the same effect. So it's kind of interesting that they were able to use both clean and harsh vocals and different parameters. So sometimes clean vocals all the way through with harsh vocals sprinkled in, but sometimes harsh vocals all the way through with clean vocals sprinkled in. In both ways, they were able to use that method to still achieve the same thing, which is give the song either more of a somber feel or also more melody at certain parts, which I thought was really cool and really creative and really different. When you add the fact that they did that with the vocal aspect, musically, then they were able to mix the genres. They were able to, for example, have a song that starts more with a death metal feel and then gives you more of a little bit of a doom black metal throughout the middle of the song, and then comes back again to the death metal. So I really like the way they were able to combine the genres. So when you think about it, the combination of the genres with the combination of the vocal delivery between harsh and clean vocals really gives the songs life and a lot of dynamic. It really makes the songs live on their own. It's really cool. I really like the way they did it. And like I said, in some songs they were able to stay consistent, but in most songs they're able to change the melodically, they're able to change between the genres. And then when you sprinkle in the vocals, it gives you a different vibe as well. So the album is very diverse, the album is very different throughout, and then each song is very unique in its own way. When you wrap all of this together, you really have a cool and different and fresh listening experience. This is not your typical death or doom or gothic or black metal album, because you have so many variables, you have so many things coming at you, not only throughout the album but in each song, that it really allows you to just travel with the song and travel with the experience that you're having listening to each song individually. I thought was really refreshing. And when you think about it, this album came out of their own pocket. There was no record label involved. So for these guys to have the creative ability to think of putting an album together like that, creating songs like that, and then delivering them, it's pretty remarkable. Also, another thing that really impressed me when I found out that the album wasn't done through a major label or even a smaller label, the other thing that really impressed me was the quality of the mixing and the quality of the production. The album sounds really crisp, it sounds really good. The vocals are not muffled. You know, sometimes when bands put albums like this together, the vocals, you can barely understand the vocals are very muffled with the music overpowering them, or sometimes the mixing is not very good. Some songs, the vocals are higher or lower, like they're all over the place. In this album, they did an amazing job putting it together. It sounds extremely professional. If you told me that this album has been released by one of the major labels, I would totally believe it, because it's done really in a professional way. I really enjoyed that. That to me added to the, you know, to the whole vibe of the album, the whole aura of the album. And I thought that these guys, based on all of these different factors, based on the fact that this is their product of their own creation, but also of their own money, all of these factors put together really made for an overall pleasant listening experience. Now, I gotta tell you guys about my 3 favorite songs. I'll start with first one, Angels and Demons. That's the name of the album, but it's also the first track on the album. And this song to me kind of set the tone, because the song really starts out as a death metal song with harsh vocals, and then it changes throughout the song. You have a couple of different changes. You have some clean vocals in the chorus, more of a slow, drawn out melody throughout the chorus, almost more like a doom song. You even have a female coming in with some humming at certain parts of the chorus, and really right after the chorus. It really adds to this song, especially the female humming in this song really adds darkness, and it adds despair. It adds really like a horror vibe to it, a very gothic doom vibe to it. But it starts off as a death metal song almost, and then it finishes off almost as a death metal song. So that first song really gave me, it opened up my eyes, because it's like, wow, it started off as a death metal song, and then it kind of changed and it morphed into this thing, and then it came back to it. So that song to me, it's one that I have to mention, because the thing that to me set it above all else was the female humming throughout the chorus. I thought that was really cool. But the fact that this was the song that introduced me to the band and to the album, and really set the tone for the rest of the album. Then I have to mention, which is to me my favorite song in the album, Shattered Emotions. This is pretty much a doom song with clean vocals almost throughout, with some harsh vocals sprinkled in at the key times. This is also the longest song of the album, but it's really more of a drawn out song. But in this song, they did the reverse of what they did in Angels and Demons, which is they used predominantly clean vocals, and then they just sprinkled in some harsh vocals at some key spots to not only add melody to the song, and incredibly, the harsh vocals actually add melody to the song, but also add a little bit of doom and gloom, which the song really called for with those harsh vocals at those specific times. It's incredible how they use the same method in reverse in the first song, and it worked well in the first song, and then they reverse it for the second song, and it works perfectly for the second song. Another song I have to mention to you guys is For a Ghost. This song to me is perhaps the song that better illustrates the whole album. It starts almost with a thrash metal guitar riff, turns into more of a doom song at about the 2 minutes and 10-second mark, more drawn out, slow, clean vocals, more of a doom song. Then with drumming, like blast beats of the drums kick in, becomes almost again a death metal song, and then it finishes off almost the way the song finishes off. It's almost a melodic black metal song by the time it finishes off. So this song, throughout this song, you kind of get almost 4 different genres of metal into one song. And I know it sounds like, holy crap, they're packing 4 genres of metal into one song. That sounds like a mismatch and it's not going to sound good. You're wrong. It really, the way they did it, it really gives life to the song, and you really feel like the song itself and the lyrics itself needed those changes of tempos, those changes of drumming style, those changes of guitar melodies, and also the clean vocals and the harsh vocals, the changes in between the two, depending on which part of the song and which style and which genre that song had. I really thought that this, to me, it's by far one of my top 3 of the album, but also it's a song that really illustrates what the whole album has to offer. So if you want to get an idea of what the whole album is without listening to the whole album, I would suggest you listen to this song, because this song would really give you an overview of what this album, Angels and Demons, is all about. And like I said before, when I started this review, if you like early Moonspell, that more doom, gothic, black metal vibe, even death metal a little bit in certain songs, not as much with Moonspell, I think you would enjoy this album. I think you would find this album extremely refreshing, and I think you really enjoyed listening to this record, because it really gave me a lot of early Moonspell vibes when I was listening to it. This one has more of a little bit of a death metal sprinkled on it than that earlier Moonspell stuff had. But in terms of the doom, gothic, and even black metal aspect, this album has it in bunches, and it really reminds me of that early Moonspell. This is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the album review. Let me know if you have checked this guys out. I'm gonna put a link below in the description to their to their YouTube channel, so you guys can click on it, go to their channel, check out some of their videos, check out some of their songs. That way you'll get a better idea of what this band is all about. And let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of these guys if you had a chance to check them out? And what do you think of their music? Do you agree with my review, or you have some ideas of your own? Let me know. See you guys.